Welcome to yet another horrid, despicable, quite depressing episode of the apocalypse. Let me just jump right bloody in. Aaron Rupar to translate a Donny Shitbags Truth Money Laundering Post. The civil nuclear deal, there will be no enrichment of material, exclamation point. Exclamation point. Being made between the US and Saudi Arabia, which pertains only to non-military use such as the ones that Iran and UAE and others already have, will be approved but is totally subject to Saudi Arabia's joining the very respected and successful Abraham Accords. The U.S. is not opposed to civil non-enriched nuclear facilities. Thank you for your attention, President Fuckface, pedophile destined for the goddamn lake. We have been fighting a war for about 6 months because of enriched uranium and a country that says their enrichment programs are not for nuclear. And then Donny ripped up the deal, and then they said, we don't give a fuck. It's for whatever we want. Men have died. We've lost billions in treasure, my God. Equipment, my God. Depleted our stockpile of missiles, etc. 3 were just killed the other day. All for Donny to turn around and hand the exact thing that we're fighting the Iranians over, handing that to the Saudis, as if the Saudis don't already have a nuke anyway. I guarantee we sold them one at some point, or a few. So I don't know what this is really about, some grift of some sort, I'm sure. I could have sworn I heard years ago that Saudi Arabia already had nuclear weapons. One of the first in the Middle East to get them. That's what I heard. I can't prove that to you. It's still unbelievable. We're saying to one Middle Eastern country, you know this, I'm sure, but I'm going to say it anyway. We're saying to one Middle Eastern country for the past 40 fucking years, they're going to have a nuke in 2 weeks. That's what Israel's been saying. That's what America's been saying. And they're horrible, and they're financing terrorism, and they're terrorists, and they're horrible, and they hate us. And it's a horrible dictatorship. And we must stop them from enriching uranium. And possibly having a nuke one day. For 40 years, been saying this. Then the crazy Mendoni shitbags invades them over it. And during that invasion, he's offering another Middle Eastern country the same thing we're fighting a war over here in Iran. What a backwards clusterfuck of an apocalypse this is. Donny is ruin and chaos, I told you. That's what it is. I'm sure Donny gets some kickback or cut of this, and that is the motivation. But it makes no sense message-wise. Another thing will make no sense later that I point out to you. That Donny is doing constantly every day. Here's Trump being mocked by the same way that he mocks others. Yes, there was a man in a suit behind him at his latest Hitler rally. And the guy was making fun of Donnie like the whole fucking time. And it's right here, this man in a circle, and he's in the midst of making fun of Donnie. He's doing the Donnie fake accordion and making a face, imitating Donnie. Right there, the circled man. See his hand there? He's doing the accordion. The bullshit that Donnie's rehearsed in the mirror his entire life. Still doesn't do it naturally. Still totally unnatural and forced. Every time Donnie does it. Right behind him at a Hitler rally, son. That's what happens when you hire on Craigslist to attend your rallies to make them look full. You end up with people like this right behind you in the shot, making you look like a fucking jerk-off who paid people on Craigslist to attend. If that was a real supporter, he would not be doing that. That's Craigslist. That's why. And Donnie looks especially fucking greasy and haggard. What the fuck is going on with him? The devil is literally with his own two hands pumping that dead heart in Donnie's fat, miserable, diapered body, overdrugged body. Literally. It's the only explanation for that fat sack of filet-o-fish eating shit still being alive. This was interesting. As you know, they're pretending Mitch McConnell is not dead for the past couple weeks. I don't know if you've noticed. And you're still paying him a salary for that and all his people as well. No problem. I'm sure it'd be fine if a Democrat did it. I'm sure you wouldn't mind. Tall. This is a man named Keith Edwards. He's obviously in DC circles somehow. I'm not exactly sure who he is. I don't need to be. That's not the point. Mitch McConnell's team reached out to me earlier today through an intermediary, of course, asking me to take this down. I don't bend the knee. So they got someone outside their circle to call him and say, can you please take that down for them? Jesus Christ. And if they don't like having their name and face attached to it, maybe they should ask themselves why that is. Yes, don't pretend your boss isn't dead and still collect a salary on taxpayer dime. And then you won't have to contact reporters and ask them to take posts down. You won't have to be embarrassed or ashamed if your face and name is known publicly, since you work for someone in a public office. What are you ashamed of? What are you afraid of? And this is what the man Keith Edwards posted. Meet the senior staff running Mitch McConnell's DC office. You pay the salaries. You're entitled to know what they're keeping from us. Well, they're keeping a dead fucking body from us. Or someone that's so incapacitated they can't even speak and pretend they're coherent. A vegetable. Essentially dead. Just still with a pulse. Only difference. Never coming back. It's one of those two scenarios, and whenever they ask someone close to it, they run as if, I don't know, the devil's chasing them. So obviously Mitch is dead or he's a vegetable. Otherwise he would have done a video, a call-in, something. Even if they only could get him coherent for 5 minutes. No, it's even worse than that, obviously. We've heard absolutely nothing. We got 2 AI photos with him in the same shirt. So he's either a vegetable or he's dead. I'm assuming he's dead. And this is the team here, lying, bold-faced lying to all of us and collecting money from you as they're doing it. For a dead man. Mitch is at the top there. There's the 5 others. Why would they be ashamed for us to know their names and faces? I don't understand. You chose to work for a man in public office, quite a well-known one. And we have Robert Sturrer, communications director. I think he's the one they asked the other day, and he ran as if, I don't know, he was a 5-year-old stealing a piece of candy from the local convenience store. We have David Popp, senior advisor in the Glasses Beneath. Terry Carmack, chief of staff. Melissa Bennett, director of operations. Dylan Vorbach, senior advisor. Wow, those are some high and mighty titles for Mitch McConnell. I'm sure they're making wonderful salaries. I'm sure you're paying them quite well. And Mitch, you're definitely paying well. And he's not even goddamn alive. I can't wait for the speech next week from some Rube or Donnie or whoever that I've been hearing my entire life, that dead people are voting. No, dead people are in the goddamn Senate, you goddamn fucking hypocrites that never believed in a goddamn fucking thing. Except your football team with the R next to it winning. You stand for nothing, you never believed in anything. You're proving that by the second. You don't mind a dead senator collecting a paycheck and his entire staff collecting senior management position paychecks. When there's an R next to it, that is why it's over. Forever. President Trump says he is close to a decision on a massive attack on Iran per Axios. Details include, and I'm working from the beginning of the day forward, so you can see how it all flowed, all the bullshit. Apocalyptic bullshit. President Trump says we're all set for it regarding the attack, which he's been hinting at for weeks. Trump says this attack would be bigger than ever before. That's a quote. President Trump said Israel would join in 2 minutes if I ask them to. I'm so glad I read this. They haven't received enough pain yet. That's a quote, Trump says. They're not the only ones receiving pain, have you noticed? I saw some satellite photos the past couple days that tells me just that. I see some dead American soldiers a couple days ago that tells me just that as well. So, I've been explaining to you for the past couple days what a surprise it is that Israel is not jumping at this fucking opportunity that they've been begging for 40 fucking years from the USA. To go in there and fuck up Iran. They were happy to do it for a while. Then they got hit with Iranian missiles. So did the rest of the Middle East. Now everyone is rethinking their position. For another reason as well, interceptor missiles, which are very expensive, very few people make them. And you can't make them overnight. Not in any serious numbers, anyway. They're running low. For Israel, for the Middle East, for everywhere. For the US. It's been going on 6 months. How many volleys of missiles has Iran hurled? And Iran knew what they were doing. And I knew what they were doing. I knew eventually we'd get to this point. Because we saw article after article about how a relatively inexpensive missile or drone for Iran has the most expensive interceptor missiles in the world being shot at 10, 20 at a time. that cannot go on forever. This is not a video game. Those things cost thousands of fucking dollars. And they take a very technical expertise to produce. And you can't make $1 million overnight. So, in essence, they are rare. And they are top of the line. And they are expensive. So I knew we'd get to this point. And what proved to me that we got to this point, again, Israel decided, I told you yesterday, the finance minister, the one who's all about it, except for now, says we're not interested in jumping in this fight right now with Iran. Really? You've been begging for it for 40 years. So I tell you that the past couple days, that's the talk from Israel. I tell you, I see no articles saying Israel bombed this site in Iran, this site. Strange. This is a dream come true. I don't understand. It's what Bibi's been begging for decades. It's so serious, they're worried about how it looks. Donnie just proved that in his post today. That Israel would join in 2 minutes if Donnie asked. I don't think they would. I think they're afraid to strike Iran directly because they've been hit so hard in the past by Iran. And they are short on interceptor missiles, and Donnie just proved that for me doubly. I was stunned when I saw the finance minister say, we are not interested in fighting Iran right now. The finance minister, Bibi and his people are the ones that bloody started the war and begged US presidents for 40 years to help them bomb Iran. All of a sudden, 6 months in, Bibi and all the rights in Israel don't want to fight anymore. No, that didn't just happen. There's a reason, and it's not because out of the kindness of their bloody hearts. Never. They are low on interceptors, and Iran has fucked them up prior. Iran has Israel utterly back on its heels, has America back on its heels, despite the show of bravado this evening for the 13th evening in a row. They have the Middle East back on its heels. They utterly control this situation. They are like an impenetrable wall that no one can crack. The greatest empire ever. And the Israelis equipped by the greatest empire ever. The fact that Donnie mentioned this tells me all I need to know, that he's worried about the way it looks. Because there's something behind it that's embarrassing for Bibi and Donnie. Otherwise, Donnie wouldn't mention it. He wouldn't feel the need to. He's afraid people are seeing it a certain way. Like I see it, like I was telling you yesterday and the day before. Bibi and Donnie started this fucking war. We're 6 months in. All of a sudden, Bibi don't want to fight. Finance minister don't want to fight. There's only, again, 2 reasons. They're afraid of getting hit more by Iranian missiles. And they're low on interceptors, so they'll definitely get hit by Iranian missiles. They're scared. They're bitching out. Donnie bitched out a few weeks ago or a month ago at Versailles. And Bibi and Adelson said we're going to, start backing little Marco if this keeps up. That's how mad they were about it. What, like a month later, all of a sudden they don't want to fight no more. This is incredible. Again, why I'm spending so much time repeating myself. I'm so astounded that we're at this moment. And it doesn't necessarily bode well because there's only one answer to this moment. If you want to be perceived as, I beat them. A nuclear weapon. Because right now, Bibi lost, Donnie lost, and Iran won. Big fucking time. So the only way Donnie and Pete Hegseth can, put their chest out and say they won is that. And he's the Antichrist. I don't want him to be. This isn't fun. I'm just telling you your reality, man. Accept it or don't. So it's obligatory, son, right? Wouldn't you expect the Antichrist to shoot one off? It's like a kid with a closet full of toys and their father says, I'm going to go to work for 2 weeks and you better not go in that closet and play with those toys. You got these other toys you can play with. You better not play with those ones in the closet. They're for later on. They're just sitting there. The kid's playing with his toys. The father walked out. About, 4 minutes go by before the kid says, fuck it, and goes in the closet. Donnie, I assume it'll take a couple years. We're about 1.5 years. Just a guess. This is a no-win situation unless you escalate. And then you could say you won, but you really didn't. You just blew everything up and irradiated an area of the world that will spread across the globe in pieces. Donnie doesn't want you to think that Israel is chicken shit right now and they don't want to fight and all that they would jump right in if Donnie asked in 2 minutes. That tells you all you need to know that he even mentioned it. That my assessment that I gave yesterday. Low on missiles, worried about Iranian missiles hitting more targets, because Iranian missiles already hit a bunch of fucking targets in Israel. They're trying to be the nice guy right now. I can't believe it. They got Israel back on their fucking heels to the point. The war hawks in Israel that have been waiting for this for 40 years, they don't even want to fight. I can't fucking believe it. That one fact alone should tell every human on earth how this war is really going. They got Israel scared, son. Israel, who is equipped and financed by the greatest empire ever with the greatest military, who is also bombing Iran. That's how scared Israel is. They don't want to join in. They too worry that Iranian missiles will hit. And they got less missiles to stop it. Fucking astounding. Trump announces the U.S. is about to carry out a massive attack on Iran, way bigger than Operation Epic Fury and bigger than any attack ever carried out before, saying we are all set for it, close to making a decision, he tells Axios. This comes as Israel has been placed on maximum alert with numerous anti-missile shelters opening in Israel today, including the suburbs of Tel Aviv, because Iran's making threats, one, and two, Donnie would have told Bibi what his plans are, the damage he's planning on doing. So Bibi should expect missiles from Iran because Israel's right next door. Trump also says Iranians haven't received enough pain yet, claims they want to negotiate, but are not ready to make a deal, contradicting Iran's comprehensive no negotiations with the U.S. doctrine, reaffirmed by Ghalibaf, Garibabadi, Marandi, and Bagay this week. Oh, Miss Levitt's back from maternity leave. And one of the questions was, why does Saudi Arabia get a civilian nuclear deal, but Iran doesn't? And one part of Levitt's answer was, this deal puts America first. No, it doesn't. In no way, shape, or form. It puts Donnie first, as usual. It's a grift. This is what it looked like. Her lying ass. Fighting a war with one country in a literal region. Same region. Saudi's main competitor. Fighting a war over enriched material. We have to get the, what's Donnie called? The nuclear dust, right? Now we're going to give the Saudis the nuclear dust. Does Donnie plan on stealing the nuclear dust from Iran and giving it to the Saudis? Is that what he's getting at here? Is that the message he's trying to communicate to the world and to Iran? Like, nah, boo, boo. I'm moving my whole military in. I'm going to go in. I'm going to take the nuclear dust. I'm going to give it to the Saudis. Fuck you. Is that where we're going with this? Is that where Donnie's warped fucking mind is at? I wonder how many thousands of troops we'd lose on that move. Don't put it past him, son. I just figured that out just now. That really might be what he's thinking. Because he made this deal now with the Saudis for a reason. He's rubbing it in Iran's face in a way. So where's he going to get the material? I got a feeling Donnie's thinking, I'm going to steal it from Iran. Miss Levitt again. Chunky back off. Back off maternity leave, or fresh off, I should say. We'll continue to talk with our Saudi counterparts to get the deal finalized and hopefully see them join the Abraham Accords very soon. I forgot that. I read you the message in the beginning here. Donnie slipped in at the end of his post after he made a deal with a foreign country. Oh yeah, you got to join the Abraham Accords. He didn't tell them that when he was there, or when he made the deal with them. Miss Levitt is now doubling down on it or reaffirming what Donnie said in his post. They did not tell the Saudis. So once again, Donnie made a major deal with a Middle Eastern country, either regarding war or weapons, in the case of the Saudis. And a major aspect of the deal he alters the next day. He always does this. That's why no one can trust him. That's why Iran might as well just keep fighting. And they know this. Believe me, they've been preparing the whole time. They've never taken him seriously. They've always known he was a fucking liar. Why? Because he started this whole thing off by attacking them in the middle of negotiations. That sends a strong message you can't trust the person you're dealing with. Then Donnie's made deal after deal with the Iranians. It gets announced daily, weekly, monthly, whatever. And he reneges 5 minutes later. He's done how many full surrenders now? Reneged the next day or 2 days later. So Iran's been preparing the whole time. They've never taken him seriously because he began this endeavor by bombing them in the middle of negotiations. Killed their top 50 shock and all that shit. 6 months later, Iran controls the whole fucking situation. Utterly backfired in all their fucking faces. I guarantee you, Donnie, in his warped, messed up, mentally challenged mind, he's thinking, I'm going to steal the material from Iran, I'm going to give it to the Saudis, and I'm going to take the money from them. Guaranteed. Why was that condition not mentioned yesterday when the Energy Secretary announced it? Levitt, look, the president is always a final deal maker. He has said if they don't join the Abraham Accords, the deal is off. Will they be exempt from international inspections, the reporter says? I don't want to comment on the specifics. In other words, will you force inspections on them like you do to the Iranians? Nah, that wasn't part of the deal. But once again, I really must say, Donnie made a major deal with a major country in the Middle East and then reneged the very next day. The fucking Saudis want nothing to do with the Abraham Accords because they want a two-state thing. They want a Palestinian state. Bibi and his people want nothing to do with a Palestinian state. They want to take all that land. They ain't trying to give it to Palestine and have a state and the rest of the world take it seriously. That's not what they're looking for. They want to steal that land. That's what they're looking for. So you got two parties that are a real sticking point that I don't think either side is going to let go of regarding the Abraham Accords. Israel, the ruling people, Bibi's people, the last fucking thing they want to hear out of any human's mouth is Palestinian state. That is land they plan on stealing. The last thing the Saudis want to hear is Abraham Accords without a Palestinian state. They don't want to hear that. They can't be part of that. So I'm guessing it goes nowhere. And Donnie reneged next day. You can't make a major deal with a country and then say, oh yeah, this other thing that you would never do, that we tried to trick you into before. But the rest of the Middle East didn't really go for it. You got to join if you want that deal we talked about yesterday that we said was finalized. Yeah, that means there's no deal. In a free country, you aren't surveilled 24/7. That's what they do in prison. Yep. I want you to think about that. I'm going to take a break. All -5 of you. Think about this. In a prison, every inch of it, except for where Jeff Epstein is, under Donnie's watch, right after Bill Barr visits, is filmed. There's a camera looking at it. It's a prison. People trying to escape, people shank people, all kind of horrible things happen. So every inch is monitored. These are disciplinary problems allegedly locked behind bars because they committed crimes. They cannot be trusted. So every inch is filmed and logged in a database in a prison. And it's what they're trying to do to the ether. And they pretty much have covered most of it. Including little girls' gymnastics rooms. And, the vice president of Flock can check in every now and then. No other camera, just that one. Already happened, son. Why I despise you. And you know who you are. In a free country, you aren't surveilled 24/7. That's what they do in prison. Think about that. And, as each city says, we're getting rid of Flock because Donnie's got stock in Axon. I just found that out today, so now I know why people are going with Axon and get rid of Flock, as if it's some type of victory for the people. Nope, not at all whatsoever. Donnie got stock in Axon. Axon's being pushed. That's all. Yeah, so, it'll either be Flock, either be the greatest peeping Tom ever born, Garrett Langley from Flock, or the dude that owns Axon, which I read you his name the other day. I can't remember. Another scumbag peeping Tom. I wonder whose windows he's looking in, or maybe he's looking in some girls' gymnastics room, like the vice president of Flock. That's what they do in prisons. I realized recently what they're attempting to do is impossible. What are they attempting to do? And it's a process that's been going on probably since the early 90s, late 80s. Everything is being cataloged on a server somewhere to be saved for all posterity for a surveillance state. Every country is voting for it as we speak. That means it was a global plan by very big players. It was in the Project 2025, Russell Vought. People like Dugin, Russ Vought, Donnie Shitbags, Peter Thiel, Leon Scum. Very powerful people that got a lot of your welfare money. Russians as well. All kinds of great, wonderful people wanted to go to this place. The problem is the place they want to get to ultimately is an impossible place. Every piece of data that comes off of me alone is astronomical. How much internet I do per day. Email sending, just ridiculous. All of that is being cataloged forever. Even if they close down all my accounts today, that is still being saved by Satan. And then, forever. That's what a surveillance state is. Everything you do and say is logged and kept forever. Every piece of data on us. Mine alone is astronomical. Multiply that times 7 fucking billion. They are trying to find a place on Earth to put all of that. That is impossible. That's why we have 10-mile complexes that take 9 million gallons of water a minute and use as much electricity as a goddamn city and pollute the environment around it, kill everything. Got fucking stillborn calves on farms and just great stuff from noise pollution and just all kinds of great stuff from data centers. The electric usage, our grid can't even handle it. A lot of them ain't even online yet. We got 5,000 of them. The water usage. All for what? To store every piece of data that comes off of me and you. Times 7 billion. There is not enough room on Earth for all that. And there sure as fuck ain't enough resources to keep it cool and electrified for the eons, for the future. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? They can't even keep up with the data right now. This is a system they want to go on for all time. You understand that? This is forever, son. Their dream of forever. People like Zuck the pedo, Gates the pedo, Leon the pedo, Thale the pedo, Dugin, Vlad, Donnie. Every piece of data that comes off of me and you has to have a spot on this earth to go. And electric to keep it alive. And water to cool it. For all time. That is impossible. Yet they're trying to do it. And they're almost bankrupting their companies to do it. All paid for, built with welfare and CIA money, of course. Built by you. Paid for by you. Whether you wanted to or not. Because they wanted society to go here. Who? The CIA, the right wing, the Nazis in the CIA that Peter Thiel hooked up with. I told you the CIA had a Nazi problem, right? George Bush Sr. was like head of the CIA. He was big time in the CIA. Mr. New World Order speech, George Bush Sr. Lifelong CIA man. Did you know that, son? That's important. He wasn't just a CIA man. He was the CIA man for a long time. Do you know what you got to do to get there, son? In the old days when you were allowed to. Cap presidents and shit. That's when he was part of the CIA, son. Then Reagan gets shot while he's vice president. These people want this forever. Adolf Hitler wanted his Reich forever. These people are Nazis. They believe it. They've done the salutes right in your fucking face. We got the camps. We got the mass thugs to prove it. We got the global war to prove it. We've got the annexation to prove it. So they want to use up all the resources, kill a lot of us off, because that's the only way it could even close to work. We can't have 7 billion, 8 billion people on the planet anymore. I think they've made that pretty obvious. Cut all regulations, allow disease to spread, tell people not to take vaccines. I don't even like vaccines. And I'm telling you this. Yet they take them all. Every one. Donnie and Junior. Donnie and, Brainworm Junior. Every single vaccine. They the first, son. Why are they telling you not to get it? Yes, vaccines have hurt some people. They don't hurt most people. That's the truth. Otherwise, every congressman, senator, president, brainworm himself, even Margie Sporkfoot, they wouldn't be the first ones in line to get them, son. You understand how that works? Yeah, there's a chance. There's a 1 in whatever chance a vaccine could fuck you up. Yeah. I understand that side of it as well. But RFK Jr. did heroin his whole life. Do you think it was the heroin that fucked him up or the vaccine, son? Yet he blaming the vaccine. He ain't blaming that other needle, though, huh? Huh, frog in your throat? That was the flu shot, right? Wasn't the smack, wasn't the brown. Could never be the brown. That feel too good. That's the good needle. Right, brainworm guy? They want this permanently. They are Nazis. They are eugenicists. That means a lot of us have to go. I'm explaining to you flat out how they view the world, what they want it to be. I don't want them to want this. This ain't fun for me. I ain't Alex Jones. I ain't selling snake oil. So take it seriously. A lot of us would have to go. And they're making that clear, like I just said, by the policies. Nazis are eugenicists. I've explained this to you. They've made their eugenics beliefs quite well known by what they preach. It's obvious they want people to die. Not an exaggeration in the slightest. They even send mass murderers out to help out. Immune ones. Might shoot you in the face. Or the back. Or maybe they'll just kidnap a random Spanish girl at a gas station, and you know what happens after that. So a lot of us have to go in their perspective on what they'd like to see the world become. AI and robots would do mostly everything for them. They wouldn't really need us much. So they need a lot of us out of the way. Plus, we're sucking up water and electricity. And we're only human. I mean, have a heart. The data centers and Zuck really need this shit. Zuck the pedo. He's got kids to touch. Have a heart, man. Donnie, too. Have a heart, man. You don't need the water and electricity. You're just fucking human being. Fucking die already. You think I'm kidding in the slightest? That's the way they look at it. They looking at a future. Again, you heard Thale. He wants real transhumanism. They're also freaks that believe in that shit too. Why? Because there's a spiritual purpose behind what they believe as well. They're afraid to go to the next life. That's serious and real. They know what's going to happen to them. They worship a certain thing as well on top of this Nazi stuff. It ain't just about a pseudo-warlike eugenicist belief. There's a spiritual aspect. If not, we wouldn't need goats with $100 bills and Donnie's face on it. We wouldn't need night outfits with Baphomet on the front. And that ain't me doing that, son. That's them. So they believe, son. And they actively working for a thing. That's the opposite of the good thing. And they are quite aware of that. So they want to stay here forever. Why? Because they control it. They have all the money. They can buy whoever they want. It's a paradise for them. It's just that getting old and dying part. Their heaven is here. You're in a goddamn way. Especially now that we got data centers that suck up all the power and water. They're trying to kill us on 8 fronts. You realize that, right? They brought measles back. They brought other diseases back with their anti-vaccine rhetoric and cancellation of programs. Tainted our food back by cancellation of programs. Do you think that was accidental? One, they get to pocket the budgets and tax money that covered those things. That's the main motivation. The secondary bonus for them on that is you die. I'm not kidding. They need to get rid of billions of us, son. And no, it wasn't Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry. It wasn't Barack Obama. I'm sorry. It was you and your people. This right-wing idea. Novus Ordo Seclorum is a right-wing idea. New World Order, George Bush Sr. Global surveillance, all in Project 2025, given to you by the right. So they want to eliminate a lot of us. Robots and AI will do most of the work. The rest that are left are slave-type people. Unless you're in their circle, of course. That will do the jobs I guess robots can't do. That's what camps and stuff like that are for. They're pushing as many people out on the streets to be homeless as well. That's intentional as well. There's an intent behind it that's been tripled down on. Yes, home prices and all that was always going in a direction that was unsustainable and damn the poor. But once these people took over, they want that accelerated, that process. They want more people homeless, more people to die. They're thinking of slave labor, son. Dead serious. Robots can't do everything. So in their utopia, billions die from their policies. Things like cutting all aid programs. That was intentional to kill people. Mass thugs on your streets is intentional to kill people. The no vaccine shit, the cancellation of health type programs that have now resulted in multiple taints of our food. Intentional. And then, as I was saying in the beginning of this, I didn't mean to say all this bullshit. I meant to say this part. Every piece of data that comes off of me and you, every text message, email, every fucking search, everything. Footage of us, audio of us, flock information, everything. There needs to be a spot on Earth for that. Electricity to power it and water to cool it. That is unsustainable. It's impossible. It would take up the entire Earth. It already is. We got 5,000 centers here. Our grid is fucked. Our water supply is now fucked. It's too late. They already built 5,000. Under our nose. Their dream is an impossible one. You understand that? They don't. They're psychopaths. They're sociopaths. There is no way. There is not enough room on earth and power and water to sustain it. To catalog every piece of data on me and you for all time. Even if you kill 7 billion. Or 5 billion or whatever. It's just insanity. It's got to end, man. And I mean, everything's got to end. I don't see any other solution. This thing they've built, that's taken 20 years. The data centers, all of it, this Reich, just all of it. Yeah, they're not giving that up. So there's only one place to go with it. The end, son. It's almost like they want to hasten the climate problems. Hasten the death with the noise pollution and all that as well. Maybe that's part of it as well. Who knows? Donnie did a forum on AI and data centers today. And if Donnie's in favor of it, that means it's part of his plans for his Reich and dictatorship for the world. The beast system, the whole thing. That was prophesied over 1,000 years ago. I fucking hate you. I don't want to be in this. You have communities that really want the data centers, and frankly, those are the smart communities. And I have more on that. This is just an opener. Looks like that. Sitting at a table as he proclaims our fucking doom. If people want data centers, Donnie, if they're so great, why don't we put one next to the White House? Right next to it. I mean, you've knocked down most of the fucking grounds and half the house anyway. Let's put a loud-ass data center. It'll suck up all the water, the electricity. You have blackouts in the White. It'll be great. And you can listen to noise all day. It'll be awesome. And your electric bill, might go up a couple hundred a week. You won't mind, right? Notice Mr. Gates, Mr. Zuckerberg, shitty Donnie shitbags. None of them live next to a fucking data center, do they? And if you said, hey, let's put one next to your house, what would they say? Hell no, right? But you're supposed to love it. As it steals your water, steals your electricity via you having to pay for it. Sharing the load, socialism, the thing they vote against and lobby against if they Zuckerberg. Ruins your property values, sucks up all the water. We've had cases of data centers stealing water. And the only reason people found out about it is because their showers and shit started losing pressure. And they traced it back. Oh, data center stole 19 zillion gallons of fucking water and didn't tell us. No wonder our electric bills have been steadily going up for the past 25 fucking years. They've been building Bitcoin mining operations that require unimaginable amounts of electric and fucking water to cool them or fans to cool them. Water's the cheapest. Data centers. No wonder electric is sky fucking high. And we about to run out of water with these things, and they're not stopping building them. We already over the climate tipping point. They're going to kill us one way. They'll find an avenue. Either the climate gets to us first, Jesus Christ gets to us first, because he's the goddamn Antichrist, and has to come back and stop it. That's what the story says, son. I'm just telling you what it says. I can't prove it to you until it happens. They'll kill us that way. They'll kill it World War III, Armageddon, drop some fucking nuke or something. They'll kill us that way. I mean, just... They're hell-bent on destruction, son. They probably don't even realize it. They think that, this is great. This is the best time of their life. And they run in full speed to the abyss. And they taking us all with them. You have communities that really want data centers. That's an abject inversion of reality. No one wants a data center, and let's start putting them up next to Zuckerberg's house if they're so desirable. Fucking cunts, they know exactly what they're doing. Donnie doesn't believe that, and no one else does. It's in service of his Reich that he planned before you gave him the keys back. Those are the smart communities, the imaginary ones that don't exist, that would really love a data center right next to their community. Donnie says he'd like to be the next president. Yeah, he mentions that in almost every Hitler rally, whatever public speech, that he's a goddamn traitor who doesn't care about the Constitution and wants to violate it and stay president forever. And he staged a coup so he could be dictator forever. And a lot of you helped him. Yeah, we know you're a traitor, Donnie. We know you never want to leave. It's the grift you've been dreaming of your whole life. I know. Feds withdraw New York Times subpoenas into reporting on Qatar gifted jet. The government called the subpoenas to reporters' family members an error. No, it wasn't an error. It was the government blatantly going after reporters, and it was utterly illegal, and they should all sue, and they should all get paid. Straight up intimidation tactic, utterly mob tactic, utterly illegal. Just because they reported the jet didn't pass security standards and was dangerous to fly. He went after them, their families, everybody, with subpoenas. Fucking disgusting mobster animal. Trump on data centers. No one has ever explained to me why it's so much electricity. Well, when it's a building fucking 8 miles long, all full of servers, well, that was going to take a lot of power. And Donnie knows that. He's just saying dumb shit. Hoping that his evil plan gets by you. So far it has. Hence America and the world being over. Why it's so much electricity? Why you need so much? Nor do I care that much, to be honest. Yes, I know, Donnie, you're just liquidating everything and killing the planet. And it'll help you in your 24-hour surveillance for Satan and yourself. So if some asshole calls you or some guy calls you an asshole on 35th Avenue in Colorado, you can send a drone or your AI kind to go kill him. That's Donnie's fucking heaven right there. I'm not even kidding, son. That's why I hate you. Sincerely. We get to a point where we're past every tipping point for the climate. Every single one. It's inevitable we going down. And they say that last moment when we have a fork in the road, a chance we could turn it around slowly. Nope, let's hit the nitrous button. 5,000 data centers in America alone. We're doomed. We're goners, man. There is not enough room for us in those 5,000 data centers, and they building more. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? There's not enough room for both. There's not enough electricity. There's not enough water. Donnie just admitted it right there. Why do you need so much electricity? What happened to the lie Donnie used to tell? They're all going to have a power plant they're going to build themselves right next to it, which I know is a lie. Told you was a lie even back then. Put my ass out on a limb even then with that. You know what it costs to build a power plant to run a complex that uses as much power as a city? And to maintain that and run that? No! They share the load with your dumb fucking ass like they've been doing for 20 years. Kidding me? They love socialism when the money comes from you to them. They just don't like it when it goes from them to you. Then it's evil. That's what they've been teaching you since 1945, and that's why you're stupid that you ever believed it. Satellite images. Newly released Iranian sat imagery shows damage to the Amazon Web Services data center in Manama, Bahrain, from the IRGC cruise missile strike earlier this week. Yes, I can see the holes in it. So, Iran really hit a data center again. Why is Iran looking like the good guys and America looking like the bad guys? They bombing data centers. Donnie shitbags bombing girls' schools and bridges. Donnie building data centers, preaching them that you should want one next to your house, that communities want them. They're the smart ones, right, Donnie? Right, Antichrist fuckface that's going to burn of the devil utterly? This, they will not talk about. This is the Hormuz letter talking about it. They would rather die. This is their worst nightmare, that this catches on. And Iran systematically starts hitting these centers all over the Middle East. Oh my God. They hitting them. I'm looking at the picture right now. You won't be able to see it. It's too small. Donnie again. You have communities that really want data centers, and frankly, those are the smart communities because it means jobs, very little actual disruption. No, it's tremendous disruption. It steals the water from your pipes and ruins your pipes. It steals the electricity from your local power plant and jacks your bill the fuck up. Your water bill going up too. Then there's the noise pollution. Then there's the ruination of your property values if it's anywhere near your fucking house. Donnie knows this. That's why he says the inverse. Very little disruption. Donnie's a goddamn fucking liar of the devil. Is there, real simple question, Rubes and assholes out there, is there a data center next to Donnie's house? Is there a data center next to Leon's house? Is there a data center next to Zuctopito's house? Is there a data center next to Bezos' house? That should tell the dumbest fucking dunce out there that data centers are ass. Yet you have the devil, Satan, and the Antichrist. Actually, the devil and Satan are the same thing. The devil and the Antichrist saying the inverse. Very little disruption and jobs. There are no jobs. Fully automated. Very tiny staff run them. They run themselves. There's construction jobs to build it, slap it up. Then that's over. They go on unemployment for like a year and a half. And no jobs. Just noise pollution. Oh, then there's the pollution in the environment. Diesel jet, however it's powered. Utter pollution in the environment. Chemicals, just all kinds of great fucking shit. There are lawsuits already. Entire towns. There are people that can't open their windows from the noise pollution. They have to live as if they're in a prison with closed windows all the time. They go outside, noise pollution 24 hours a day. Ruin their property values. They are, I don't know, like the devil moved in next door, basically. And the devil in this case would be spouting toxic chemicals and gases and all kinds of great stuff and jacking all your bills up. On top of being the devil. Cunt, Antichrist, fat fuck in a diaper. Very little actual disruption. Fuck you and die, you fat cunt. You move next to one, you fat fuck in a shitty diaper. On too many drugs. You have communities that really want the data centers. They are begging for them. Very smart. I mean, just the lie goes further and further. The inverse of reality further and further. Every day after day after day, we live this with this goddamn abomination of Satan. Does any oligarch live next to a data center? That's all you need to know, asshole. Begging for them, the liar, the lying liar that lies, says, on top of the other 9 lies about how great data centers are and how everybody wants them. It's so over, I'm sorry. Jesus. Footage shows Iran striking a U.S. HIMARS ground-to-ground site in Kuwait that was shooting missiles directly from Kuwait to Iran just 3 days ago. They're getting targeting from China and Russia. So any Middle Eastern country that shoots at them, they know exactly where it came from, and they hit them right back. I'm looking at the picture right now. This is what Iran can do, and they've been doing it the whole time. And that's why Israel's all scared. And they don't want to fight no more. After 40 years of begging for it. Donnie looks like a jerk off. He surrendered 19 times. Still looks like a loser even though he's bombing them right now. They hit whatever they want. And the fact that Israel's afraid to fight shows that they can hit whatever they want in Israel now too. Incredible. Trump is gifted a ring from the Dodgers and says, do I have to report this? I don't want to report this. We know, Donnie, you love presents, you love bribes, and you love when the taxpayers pay for it. We know. He took a $400 million plane. I'm sure you'd be cool with Barack Obama, the black guy, taking a $400 million plane and then taking $3 billion from you to fix it up, right? Put a Shark Tank in it and shit. Right? You'd be totally cool with that. No? How about Joe Biden? What if he would have taken a $400 million plane from Qatar or a ring from the Dodgers that I'm sure is quite valuable? What would Jesse Waters be saying on his show? In between, sexually assaulting women and shit. Didn't he, slash some woman's tires that he wanted to go out with or something? Isn't he, that level of a psycho? Yeah, yes, he is. Yeah. Or let the air out or something? I gotta go look at that again. So yet another group of people, a major organization, the Dodgers baseball team, hand Donnie a very valuable ring. That's on top of the $400 million plane that you paid $3 billion to fix up. That always really helps when sports teams validate him by going there and supporting the devil. Whether you understand that or not, I could care less. Anyone that looks up to you people, that respects anything you have to say, I don't personally, but a lot of people do. Baseball's popular. When they see you, they're validating him, co-signing him, handing him a present like that. That doesn't help. It solidifies the end, actually. Thanks for that, Dodgers. Thanks for bribing the president. That was nice of you. He doesn't get enough bribes. He doesn't have enough grifts and bribes. And it's not like all the oligarchs laid $1 million at his feet when he first got in office. Oh, shit, wait a minute. That did happen. Never mind. As if he were the Antichrist or something, and they all knew it. Strange. Massive U.S. Air Force air bridge to the Middle East underway today with dozens of USAF transport flights moving from key bases in Europe into the region. This comes hours after Trump announced the U.S. is about to carry out a massive attack on Iran, bigger than any attack ever carried out before. Moving a lot of equipment over there. What's Donnie going to do? That's your money paying for that too, son. That ain't cheap. Shit. Oh, I don't know if you know, you probably heard it was coming up. More treachery by our own government selling us out again. Both sides. Mostly Republicans because the idea was thought up on the right, the fascist right, as usual. But 6 Democrats went along. So, I don't know if you heard, they've been talking about it, what, merging our militaries with Israel's military. An utterly treasonous idea. It doesn't matter whose military we're talking about. I told you a long time ago before any of this shit happened. Before he won again, all roads lead to Israel, temple, all that shit. That's what this is all about. That's where it all leads. We are at the point, a year and a half in, where we are now merging militaries with Israel. That's how serious it is. That's how much all roads lead to Israel. Donnie took the Holy Land first, Board of Peace, invited troops from other nations to come work for him, Board of Peace, be his army. A couple countries volunteered. Some American troops are already on the Holy Land in Israel, about 200 that I read. More probably went since then, once the Board of Peace was founded. Do you see where this is going yet? People are mad about this, and they should be. This is goddamn treason right here. "209 Republicans vote yes, 7 vote no. 6 Democrats vote yes, 205 vote no. 1 independent votes yes. You have 2 Republican no votes, 1 Democratic no vote." So it passed, obviously. And 6 Democrats went along. So now it's pretty much inevitable. We're intertwined with Israel's fate. What is Israel's fate, you ask? The Battle of Armageddon. That's their fate. The abomination of desolation and something really bad happening to Israel right after that. Because it says, once Donnie walks up and says he's God, don't even pack your fucking shit. Run for the fucking hills, and hopefully you ain't pregnant and it ain't wintertime. When you see that thing standing where it should be standing, maybe a statue of Donnie on the Temple Mount, maybe in the temple. One Caesar or one Roman, he put a statue of himself as a pagan god in the Jewish temple. Sunday, one thing you don't want to fuck with God like that. God takes that personally. And you just a man. You don't want any of that action, son. Putting a statue of yourself as a pagan god in God's literal temple. That was God's literal. That's what you have to understand, the distinction. He commanded the Israelites to build it there on that spot. It was there twice, destroyed twice. They're going to build it again, and it's going to be soon. How do I know? House Section 219, House passes bill merging U.S.-Israeli militaries. That's how I goddamn know. I'm going to take a break now. While I still can. Before the nukes start flying. I think I hear one now. Look, if ideas like what's on the Georgia Guidestones are so great, wonderful, beautiful, enlightened, not of Satan, why don't people sign their name to it and put their face on it? You ever notice that? Why are they afraid to state their ideas outright? If they're so beautiful, wonderful, and non-satanic. You know what the Georgia Guidestones say, right? Forget everything else on it. One thing matters. Keep the global population at 500 million. 500 million is nothing for this planet, the size of it. Why do they say 500 million? Because they mean 500 million of the right kind of people. And you know what that means. Certain families. Like we got going right now. We got a caste system. Some people are allowed to rise via CIA, whatever, whoever funds them, with our money, of course. Some people ain't. When you propose an idea like perpetually keep the population at 500 million, I'm an enlightened Satanist. Of course, they don't say that part. But that's what they're thinking. I know better. No, you know the devil. That's it. You're talking about killing 7,500,000,000 fucking people. You goddamn sociopath, psychopath. Any man thinks that, they in the lake. That's it. Fuck you and die. Every human that's ever thought that. Because I know right where it came from. A cunt called the imp, or the devil in layman terms. The earth is quite large enough to handle more than 500 million people. Lest you're talking about an oligarch utopia where you kill off most of the population and AI and robots and a few humans that are necessary for jobs that robots can't do. You enslave and, make living camps and work. That's their utopia. That's what they're trying to make. It's the same idea. It's the same people. The same cunt that financed that fucking piece of shit Georgia Guidestones that's protected, for fuck's sake. Because God forbid Satan be attacked, you know what I mean? He always finds protection here, doesn't he? Fuck yeah, he does. Or we wouldn't be here right now. Where's here? The goddamn end. That's where here is, son. Or I wouldn't be here. Donnie's people, Dugan's people, Leon, Thale, all of them. R.C. Christian, Mr. Georgia Guidestones man, who's afraid to show himself, or probably dead by now. Cunt of Satan, utterly. Why don't they put their name on these ideas, their face? Why don't they want people to know? I don't understand. If you're so proud of being a Nazi, why don't you want people to know? When you do a Nazi salute, why you got to lie about it the next day and say it wasn't a Nazi salute? You're so proud of these ideas. This is such enlightened knowledge and wisdom and so beautiful. I don't understand why you got to lie to the masses about it. Even when you're wearing a Nazi uniform and doing a salute right in front of our fucking face, you still got to pretend you weren't doing it. I thought it was wonderful, Leon. What's the problem? Mr. R.C. Christian, I know you're burning in hell right now, but what's the problem? Put your name on it, son. I don't understand. You're the enlightened ones, right? The light of knowledge. Right, son? You know where that's going to get you? That knowledge? Right in the goddamn lake. R.C. Christian already there. Guaranteed, son. I'd bet my life on it. Even if I cared about it. So your military is now merged with the Israeli military. That will lead to Armageddon. I'm sorry. You chose it. I did not. 6 Democrats went along. That's why they'll be rounded up later, too. They enabled all this. By voting for the surveillance of my car, a good portion of the Democrats voted with the right who thought the idea up. Because they got checks. These 6 got checks, obviously, from the right people. And that's why it's over. No one there to stop this stuff. No one there to advocate for us. I don't care how noble they come off. I go by voting records, son. And we had a point in history where I cannot walk with you. I am not allowed to, even if I want to. If you enable Satan's utopia that's being built before our eyes. Democrats are doing that right now. Going along with the people that invented it. The right-wing fascists. That's why it's over. Reason 1,000,097. And worst of all, what that means for us. We've got no one fighting for us. Every first world nation is voting for these policies that will have their liberals rounded up. The liberals here will be rounded up. Those policies that they voted for will help that process, will expedite it, make it much faster and clean. They're too stupid to know that. That's why they voted for it. Again, everyone thinks there will be an after. I can tell by how the world's acting, how everyone in government's acting across the world. There will not be an after. Every single person in Congress who voted yes to merge our military with Israel committed treason. Goddamn right they fucking did. Disgusting what just happened. I don't care what country it is. It has nothing to do with whether it's Israel or any fucking body. All part of the plan. I told you all roads lead to that temple, Israel, the whole thing. That's what all this is about. That's where it goes. They just proved it for the millionth time. Joe Kent. Here's a new one that I have not heard, and I really wonder what Joe Kent heard while he was in the circles with these people. Because he was MAGA. Resigned U.S. Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent. We're going to withdraw from NATO. That's been kind of obvious since term 1. So that when Turkey and Israel fight in Syria, we can side with Israel. Interesting. This is one I have not heard before. And I know Joe is on the inside, way up there. Now, Donnie's been a Russian asset this entire time. Since Russia, if you're listening, Donnie was a Russian asset before that. Before you ever saw him on The Apprentice, you're just an idiot. You have no idea. Utterly owned by Vlad, 2015 when he ran. Term 1, Vlad was helping with the social media and the trolling and the messaging the whole time. Then there's the hacking that Vlad did for him that he asked for on live television, which he should have went to jail for or been thrown out of the election for just that alone. But he had the devil on his shoulder. So, NATO has always been a problem for Vlad Putin. So in term 1 and in term 2, Donnie's been fucking with NATO, trying to run the protection racket on him, which is really just setting the table for pulling out of NATO. To help Vlad out. That way in future wars, we wouldn't be part of NATO. If Vlad gets involved in something, Donnie wants to go on Vlad's team and fight somebody, he can do that. No problem. That's the way I looked at it. But this is an interesting perspective here. Now, it could help another country that's had problems with the ICC, the International Criminal Court, all that, NATO, Israel. So Donnie pulling out of NATO actually serves Bibi's purposes, and it serves Vlad's purposes. And it serves Donnie's purposes because Vlad and Bibi have compromat on Donnie. So Donnie's on their team in any conflict in the future. So he needs an excuse to do that. NATO's evil, they're mean, I left, they don't deserve it, we pay for everything, fuck them. I'm on Team Vlad now. Finally, it's out in the open. Let me help him fight Ukraine. That's what I expect. So by leaving NATO, he could take Israel's side against Europe and all the people on the ICC, the International Criminal Court, all that. We'd be more independent. We wouldn't be part of that organization anymore. He can take Israel's side in any confrontation when the ICC and Europe and everyone's condemning Israel and saying they're going to arrest Bibi and all that. He doesn't have to worry about being a NATO member. He can just side with Bibi. But Joe Kent obviously heard something, and he's telling us straight up right here. So this might be a future plan. When Turkey and Israel fight in Syria, we can side with Israel. He heard something that's way too specific. And the way he said it, it's just way too matter of fact and specific. He heard that. That's a plan. Why would Israel and Turkey fight, though? I know he knows something that I don't. And why would they fight in Syria? It's so strange. It's totally possible. And again, the reason I'm reading this to you, this man obviously heard this from someone. He was way up, counterterrorism center director. So he got to hear some shit. So if we get to a point where Turkey and Israel are fighting in Syria, somehow proxies something, we'll know if he was right or not. Fascinating. I never looked at it this way. Because I've never been behind the door listening to the plan. Okay, the nun that Mark Wayne and the Gestapo grabbed in Texas and put in a concentration camp and eventually let out. She did a little kind of interview somewhere, and there's a bunch of clips from it, and I just have one. And this is her again. And her name was, how did he say that? Is it here? I don't know if I have it. No, I don't think I have it here. I think it was Ugboaja. Sister Ugboaja is her name, and she looks like this. And yes, she got grabbed by the Gestapo on her way to Mass, son, and put in a concentration camp. God gonna have a good time with whoever took part in that, don't worry, all the way up to inbred ass Mark Wayne. So this is one of the things she said. For me, a nun, not to go to Mass on Sunday, not to receive communion, it was very, very heartbreaking for me. That is a big deal. I mean, that's their life. That's what they do. They devote their life to God, and doing that involves the sacraments, and they take that utterly seriously. So when they miss that, you know, they feel like they're violating whatever relationship or whatever they have with God and what they're supposed to be doing. I'm sure God will understand that she was grabbed by the Gestapo, but it still bothers her because it means something to her. I was told, even when I told him, can I go to Mass? Can I just attend Mass? Can I receive communion? Here's a nun saying, can I just go to Mass? I'm on my way to Mass. Let me do communion. And then you can take me. Son, I can't express how God would view you stopping a nun from receiving communion because you're grabbing her for bounty money. Son, unless you repent of that action, accept Jesus Christ, and beg God's forgiveness, and walk a completely different path, son, you go into the lake just for that. You won't even have to take the mark. Could you imagine having a nun begging you in the mask with the machine gun? Can I just go to Mass and receive communion like I'm supposed to? Because I'm a fucking nun, asshole. And they say no. And they take her to a camp, son. Whoo! What's going to happen to those people? Those fat fuck gatemen? Oh my God. Oh my God, what's going to happen to them? And the answer was no, I did not do anything else when I have two men armed. I'm just a small woman, a nun, just with my rosary. I am not the only one. There are many others in the same situation. Don't worry. The nun's big brother will handle it. And the horror will be fucking indescribable. It scares me to think about it. All the way up to Mark Wayne, they should all be saying, begging forgiveness of Christ and God the Father right now. And quitting their Gestapo jobs. And Mark Wayne should take the suit off and go back to plumbing and beg God's forgiveness. If any of them knew what was good for them. Son, you don't even know. I gotta smoke another cigarette now. This shit got me all fucked up. Because I know I can feel it, son. You don't understand. It's games to you little children down here. Fucking with nuns, grabbing brown-skinned people, terrorizing communities, shoot women in the face. It's just a game. You can watch from it. It's cool. It's fun. Grabbing nuns and putting them in concentration. Son, the man watching every second of it. And he got a whip in his hand. And he thinking about how many lashes he gonna give you. Oh my God. It will be bad. Just for that one incident. You don't understand. She talks about how she's just a little woman and they are men and they all talk. And she's scared. She has a weapon behind her that tiny ant little humans can't imagine. And that weapon will do horror that I can't describe as a human being. To those people. That's etched in granite unless they seriously turn away and beg God's forgiveness right fucking now. Son, I wouldn't want to be in the same zip code as this. Just this one thing alone. Let alone to have done it. Okay, I'll be back in a moment. Yes, the correct etiquette for the humans that are destined to burn and don't understand proper etiquette. Proper etiquette when a nun of God walks by, a real nun of God like this woman, would have been, hello, Sister Ugboaja, how are you doing today? Great, that's not, can I walk you to Mass? Make sure you're safe, no one messes with you, you get there, everything's good. Because I respect you. You're a woman of God, I get it. I can respect that. Let me help you. Let me walk you to Mass. The wrong etiquette, the wrong way to approach that situation, no matter who pays you or says it's okay, whether it's Satan, Adolf Hitler, Genghis Khan, whoever, the wrong approach there is to put a mask on, point your gun at her and say, come with me. And when she says, can I just go to Mass and receive communion for 5 seconds? You say no and then take her to a concentration camp. That's the wrong way to approach it. If you value your life in any way. Because the man gonna beat you like a 3-year-old stepchild. I don't know what to say, son. It's gonna be goddamn horrific. Yeah, I just wanted to clear that up in case people didn't understand the proper human etiquette for that situation. Don't grab the nun in a mask at gunpoint for bounty money and put her in a concentration camp. That is the wrong way to go. I know in some people's mind that's Jesus-y and shit. That's why you're going to goddamn burn. I don't care how many times you went to church, son. Irrelevant. I don't care how much you put in the collection plate. Irrelevant. If you're down with locking nuns in camps, fire. I'm sorry, son. The NDAA passed with Section 219. This streamlines the process of sort of merging U.S. and Israeli military defense technology. I wonder what your thoughts are on that and whether that's a good thing for the U.S. They're asking Cancun Cruz, Ted Cruz, that question. You know, the guy that flees when Texans are freezing and the grid's down because Abbott and Paxton stole all the money and shit. Took all them kickbacks from the companies they like, no regulations, just fuck it. So they were dying. The dog was dying in a mansion in Texas. And Ted grabbed his kids and his wife, and he got caught trying to hop a flight to Cancun, and then he blamed it on his daughters. That's who they're asking. Cruz, the question you ask is not an honest description of what that is. Andrione, the reporter, Netanyahu wrote a letter to Congress saying exactly that. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. That's why people are so pissed about it. That's why only 6 Democrats voted for it. They know it's a death knell. They know it's a death knell on the right, too. A lot of hardcore right-wingers. They don't like Jews. They don't like Israel. They don't like none of that. Then when they go to church on Sunday, they love Israel. So that hurts you if you're on the right with a lot of people. That hurts you on the left with everybody if you're a Democrat voting for let's merge with Israel. And Cancun Cruz does what he always does, tries to dodge the question and hop a flight to Cancun, walking as fast as he can away from this question too. End of America, son. Another just utter indicator America's so goddamn over. We just merged militaries with a foreign fucking country. One that's going to lead us to Armageddon. One that has us in World War III right now. That we can't get out of. That it's pretty much inevitable a nuke will be dropped. It's sure looking that way. Malcolm Nance, and I haven't grabbed an assessment from Malcolm Nance in a while. U.S. forces attacking the areas around the central port village of Masan and Kashem Island and Larak Island feels like a shaping operation for an amphibious raid in the next 24 to 48 hours. We can land on these islands, but we can't hold them. General Kellogg has been advocating seizing multiple islands all week, including Karg. If he gets his wish, then our soldiers and Marines will really start dying. Fuck yeah, they will. Now we got a general that wants to fucking lose a few thousand troops right quick. Not just Donnie and Pete. Great. This is fucking great. I assume Donnie's going to do something crazy that he hasn't done before. Why? Because of all the equipment being moved over there. And again, you don't want to know what that costs. Just that movement alone of what he just did the past 36 hours. You don't want to know. This sounds bad if they're about to try this. And if you thought the other day losing 3 troops was bad, Donnie is moving an awful lot of equipment over there. I must say, Malcolm has a point here. And he has, you know, he knows people in the military. He is in the military. He went over to Ukraine and, you know, he was on the ground there with the gun and the you know, the uniform, all of it. So he knows about shit like this. And he has a grapevine that he can hear things from. And he's hearing General Kellogg wants to take Karg Island and other islands. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Get ready for the caskets, son. They'll hide them as long as they can. No, don't worry. They always do. Ron Filipkowski. Oh, they took the 4 service members who died in Jordan from their official list of casualties. The Pentagon removed the names. They explained that this is because their deaths occurred after Trump declared a ceasefire in the war in April. Get the fuck out of here with that, man. This is pathetic. God, there's just no low too low for these cunts. For you and for Satan. And by you, I mean the people that support these cunts. I guess they don't count as Iran war casualties then. These things are important to Trump for his scorecard, right? Donnie can't have any blemishes, any deaths. I told you before they dropped the first goddamn bomb, when the Reich was first built, and I realized it was Hegseth, and I realized what was about to happen. I told you, they think they're going to go around and just bomb everybody and not have any problems. You don't go around bombing the whole fucking world without creating tremendous animosity. That will result in attacks against us. That has resulted in dead soldiers. And Donnie would rather blame it on Jordan or whoever. He'd rather blame the girls' school on the fucking Iranians or whoever. No, it's him. And it's that simple. Those deaths are on his fucking head. So are the 200 down in the Caribbean that he blew out of the water. And the 80 he killed on land. When he kidnapped their leader and stole their oil. He's a mass fucking murderer. And he's worried about 13 or 18 troops. And how we feel about it. It's fucking ridiculous. He doesn't give a fuck about the troops. He gives a fuck about the perception that you have of those dead troops, of him. He realizes it's a way that he can get removed from office. It could get you mad enough. He keeps committing more. It looks like that's what he's about to do now. That means more caskets. Most of you military people, I know how you voted. Most of you people with kids in the military, I know how you voted. You got what you voted for. I've been yelling for 10 years that what you were voting for was the end of America and the end of the world, and that Donnie could be the Antichrist. And most likely is. Now I'm at the point where I know he's the Antichrist, for certain, 100%. And I want to be wrong more than you want me to be, more than you need me to be. I'm looking for me to be wrong every fucking minute of every day, son. And it never happens. It just gets worse. Like, now we're at the point where the Antichrist removes troops' names because 18, the number's getting a little too high, and Donnie's getting worried. Not because he gives a fuck about their lives. Not whatsoever. He's the one that started the war, asshole. Don't give a fuck about your kid's life. Remove them from the list. Pure fucking scum. U.S. military has begun launching new airstrikes against Iran minutes ago for the 13th consecutive night per CENTCOM. That's the Hormuz Le'a. Notably, the statement says the strikes are aimed at holding Iran accountable, differing from the usual previous statements. This also comes as Iran has fired missiles towards the Strait of Hormuz about an hour ago, and an unidentified aerial object has crashed at Qasem Island. I saw the footage of that. The Iranians are claiming they shot down a plane. I don't know what it was. It kind of did look like a plane falling, though. Iran struck both the Batelco data center and the electrical substation supplying power to the facility, likely knocking the site completely offline. The first strike was carried out on July 18, followed by a second strike on July 21. They're hitting targets twice. I can see the holes in the buildings on the sat photo. Data center and the power supply. Beautiful hit, almost in the middle of the data center and almost in the middle of the power supply. Very precise. That's what Iran can do. That's why those bases are empty in Jordan and Qatar. The ones they evacuated yesterday and the day before? The United States evacuated? That's why. Those holes in that data center and the holes in the barracks at the base they hit. Donnie, we can't be hoodwinked by people who say you are going to have free home and free rent. We have to stop the threat of the communist rhetoric. Adolf Hitler used the same exact talking points. He didn't use them for elections. The communist word, the socialist word, the Marxist word was used for roundups later, setting the table to the stage for that. Since 1945, the right wing in this country has been using those words the same way Adolf Hitler used them. That's why they were the Nazi movement light. Same playbook. Way before Donnie came along. Donnie's the maximum expression of you and it. And the end of America. I'm sorry you thought Honey Boo Boo was interesting. That was kind of an indicator that America was over right there. You thought Donnie in a shitty diaper saying you're fired on The Apprentice was interesting. I never watched one episode. I couldn't tell you one episode of that show. Or Honey Boo Boo. I have better things to do. When the populace is interested in things like that, it's goddamn over. Because it reflects on the intellect level of the populace. And it did not reflect well. It reflected badly. When you started listening and believing, what Russian trolls in smelly basements with 90,000 smartphones, it was over then. So Donnie says the communists are offering free rent and free homes. That's what they're promising. I haven't heard those promises from anyone, especially not in America. God forbid. Plenty of welfare for the rich, though. And you're paying all Donnie's bills and rent. But free rent and a free home for you? Oh, that's evil. That's commie shit. Let's start rounding people up. Right, Adolf? Right. James Tate says he is building a bunker and has free housing and health care. Fuck you and rotten hell. Right. Free home and free rent, that'd be evil, right? Right, assholes? How many of you would make that argument? I know almost every one of you would. Almost every human I come across would say that's wrong. Why? Because you're an indoctrinated, worthless sheep that's repeated what you heard from your daddy, your mommy, the news, whatever. And it's molded your worldview to make those statements reflexive. You don't even think about them. You just heard it a million times. Right-wing politics, since before I was born, taught you that. And it became a mantra. A mantra for you to sit in your subconscious till you got in a political debate and all you could do was spout the talking points you heard. Because you don't think for yourself, son. That's simple. That's why it's over. Too many of you are exactly what I just described right there. I don't see anything wrong with free home and free rent for everybody. What do you think of that? Oh my God, that's evil, right? You should be in debt for 40 years for your home with a high interest rate. You should be in debt for 7 years for your car. You should have to work 3 jobs to pay your bills, your kids' bills. That's right. That's just. That's how it should be done. Unless you're Peter Thiel, then you just live on billions in welfare a year. That's how it should be done. Right, Greasy Pete? And you should pay all Donnie's bills. That's straight up fucking socialism. No problem there, right, assholes? But free rent for regular citizens, free housing, that's just goddamn evil. Again, that's the capitalist Jesus talk. That's why so many are fucking just abject lost. You're a lost cause. You're stuck in that land of capitalist, right-wing, fascist Adolf Hitler Jesus. Free healthcare. Free housing. Free rent. Unless it's for Donnie. Unless it's for Leon and Greasy Pete. Somebody black might get it. Somebody Latin might get it. Oh my. Indoctrinated goddamn sheep. Almost every human I've ever been around. Because if you didn't know me and I just started talking to you and I said, what do you think about free housing and free rent? I can pretty much guarantee the response I'd get from almost every human being. They wouldn't think about it. They just repeat what they were fucking taught. You know, by the people at the top of society that want to enslave the living fuck out of you and have. When you think for yourself, you're like, free housing and free rent. Well, every human should get that. That's what you think when you think for yourself. But wait a minute, why can't I be like Donnie? Why can't I get a bunch of other people to pay for a bunker for me and the White House, and I can tear down half of it and make them pay for it, and I can start wars and make them pay for it, and I go to my golf club and make them pay me directly and for my entire entourage? Why can't I have that life? Donnie said free rent and free housing is wrong. That's what he's getting. Even when he goes to his own club, you pay for it. When he owns it, he shouldn't be charging you shit. You wish, you fucking mark idiots. Charging you top motherfucking dollar. This a grift, son. It was never nothing but. Free housing, free rent's wrong for you. Not for Donnie, not for Leon, not for Greasy Pete, okay? And that's the way it should be. because that's what your daddy taught you. And the Republican Party taught him that before, when he was a kid. And his daddy taught him that too. Republican Jesus. Fucking cunts. End of this fucking world is what you cunts are. Too late too. It's already in motion. No going back, no matter what the fuck you do. Trump on data centers. You have to convince your communities how great these things are. You can't fight it. You have to go with it. Actually, we can fight it. You cunt of Satan in a goddamn diaper who wants data centers to enslave us and steal all our water and steal our electricity. Fuck you and die. You fucking kidding me? You can't fight it. You have to go with it. Spoken like a true rapist and pedophile, Donnie. I got to give it to you. You getting another lawsuit ready to try and make E. Jean pay the rape money back? You fucking cunt of Satan. Wasn't even your goddamn money anyway. You grifted it off of somebody, probably the taxpayers, you fucking scumbag. Some fucking how. They paid for every visit to your club while you were president and after. Fucking cunt. Not like you paid the $5 million anyway. You never pay shit. It's always somebody else's money. Fat fucking clown in orange face in a shitty diaper, my God. Trying to get his rape fucking judgment money back. Can you goddamn believe it? You have to go with it. You can't fight it. Is that what you said with E. Jean when you were raping her? Or to the little children when you were touching them, you goddamn fucking $3 greasy pedophile? Fucking cunt. End of our earth, man. End of our fucking country. Those data centers are integral in that process. They're integral into the Reich surveilling you as well. And every company commoditizing your every fucking breath so they can sell it back and forth to each other. And a Palantir. The fuck? So goddamn over. The Hormuz letter. Iran is preparing to expand the war significantly as soon as Trump carries out his announced Iranian infrastructure strikes in the coming days, including by striking Tel Aviv directly and instructing the Houthis to fully close Bab el-Mandab to all ships, per two Iranian officials. I don't know why Iran just doesn't hit Israel, honestly. They got him in a vulnerable position where they've always wanted him. I'm surprised. If Israel had Iran in that same position, they would not be given the same mercy. The only reason Bibi ain't jumping on this opportunity right now, low on interceptor missiles and the damage Iran already did. Only reason. I'm really surprised Iran is holding back. They're holding that card back, though. They want to see what Donnie does. If it's bad enough, then they hit Tel Aviv. For real, because, again, they're low on missiles, so. Israel is. So, targets will be hit. Much more than before. Iran has rejected a U.S. ceasefire deal presented by Iraqi leaders per New York Times. Today officially marks day 145 since the war began. Now, are they counting the pause in the middle? When did this count begin? Are we counting the fake ceasefire so Donnie and Pete don't get impeached? Because you got to go to Congress if it's over a certain time period. So that's why they had the fake ceasefire. And Pete goes in committee and says, oh, well, that was when we had a ceasefire. That don't count. No, it does count, Pete. And those 4 dead soldiers, even though they died during that time, that counts too. Okay, I'm a little tired of this. I don't know about you. Every single day, we're on day 13 of bombing, by the way, by the United States of Iran. Day 13 in a row. Every single day during that process of 13 days and before, I see a post by Iran or someone talking about Iran and the press talking about Iran that they've rejected the offered deal by Pakistan, by this person, that person, because they don't pick up the phone when Donnie calls. He got to go through a third party. He's embarrassed. He looks like a fucking fool. They treat him like some ex-girlfriend or boyfriend that you don't want to talk to anymore, and they keep calling. That's how they treating Donnie. He's embarrassed. So he get an intermediary, whatever he can do. Here's the thing, though. Every fucking day I see this. Donnie makes threats all fucking day. And then later in the day, or at some point, I see Iran has turned down the offered deal. Via this proxy, that proxy, the United States itself, whatever. Then when we get back into bombing them for 13 days straight, every single day I see, in between literal bombings, a peace deal being offered and rejected. I just read it to you again today. Day 13 of bombing Iran in a row. Again, the absurdity, the chaos, the just ridiculousness of this. What is Donnie doing? In between runs, he calls up fucking, what was it? Iraq? Make your move. What we talked about. If I was the leader of Iraq, I'd be like, dude, you're bombing them right now. What the fuck are you talking about? Stop bombing them. Then I'll make a call. Oh my God. I mean, can you imagine? Literally in between bombing runs for 13 days. And the ones before. They're offering peace deals in between runs. Every single day I read this. Today's version. Iran has rejected a U.S. ceasefire deal presented by Iraq. The leader of Iraq was just here. That's what they talked about. Be my intermediary. Will you invade Iran for me later? Literally in between bombing runs, you're asking people to sign. It's just, dude, it's so over. This is so turning into World War III. It's so going to lead to Armageddon. I'm sorry. It's just fucking over, man. It gets worse every fucking day. The U.S. has carried out a large-scale attack on Avaz in Iran's main oil region with more than 35 strikes so far in the past hour. I'm sure Iran will be real mad about that. Avaz is the capital of Khuzestan province, housing Iran's major oil production and refining infrastructure, with oil facilities likely among the targets. I'm sure Iran will be real fucking mad about that. Donnie playing with goddamn fire here, man. Hunter Biden. I didn't know it was him as I was reading this. I'm just scrolling through my feed and I read each thing. If it interests me, I keep reading. If it doesn't, I keep going. After I was done, I looked up. Oh shit, Hunter Biden. We're supposedly at war to stop Iran from enriching the uranium we obliterated over a year ago. Oh, someone commented in the comments section today. They probably watched a video last night. They said depleted uranium has a 23,000 year half-life. That's why I didn't look for it. I don't know if that's the correct number or not. That's what they quoted. They probably looked it up, I assume. Because not many people know that offhand. I don't. I know some of these elements, it's millions of years. Some of it's thousands of years. Some of it's hundreds. Some of it's 10 years, you know. Depends on the element. A commenter said depleted uranium 23,000 years. Depleted uranium rounds have been used in modern warfare, especially by the U.S. They pack an extra punch, and they leave a little present behind for 23,000 years. Depleted uranium is usually used on larger rounds, on planes, tanks, shit like that. But they do have smaller depleted uranium rounds for guns as well, that the military uses as well. These leave radiation wherever they go. The half-life, according to a commenter that I was afraid to look up because I figured it'd be in 1,000 some horrific goddamn number. Because I've been looking at this nuclear stuff many decades, son. And they say 23,000 year half-life. I hope that's wrong. It's probably not, though. Anyway, we are supposedly at war to stop Iran from enriching the uranium we obliterated over a year ago. Yesterday, we signed a deal to help Saudi Arabia enrich uranium. The first time the U.S. has ever helped another country enrich uranium on foreign soil. The Saudis refused the inspection protocol 140 other countries accept. Too intrusive, they said. Trump agreed. He signed a national security waiver to get around the rule. The Saudis paid Kushner $100 million. They put $2 billion into his firm. They put another $6 billion into LIV Golf. Oh, that was another money laundering scheme. The LIV, the Saudis in the golf tournament, the organization. I didn't realize that at the time. Which pays Trump properties to host its tournaments. They signed $10 billion in Trump-branded real estate deals in Jeddah and Riyadh, all in just the last few years. But sure, my paintings, right? Hunter Biden's paintings and Burisma and all that seem a little small in comparison, don't they? And Mr. Biden, young Biden here, he has a degree. He's not a crackhead idiot, even though he got hooked on drugs and slept with some hoes and played with guns and all that. He's a very smart dude. What I just read you is very well written, and I was thinking as I was reading, he's a very smart guy. In other words, he was actually qualified for the position he had. And no, Biden didn't take any money. Old Joe I'm talking about. Nah. Biden's not even a billionaire. Biden's not a grifter, man. He wasn't trying to be king of the earth. That's Donnie. That's your people. Every day, all day. And it will cost us all everything, the planet and the country. Over, forget about it, stick a goddamn fork in it, and I hate you. He's got a great point. I mean, just the way it looks alone, we're at literal World War III with one country over enriched uranium and another Middle Eastern country across the water. We're like, oh yeah, you want some enriched uranium and a program and us to help you out with that? But wait, you're bombing this other country for... Iran has reportedly rejected a U.S. ceasefire proposal delivered to Tehran by Iraq's prime minister after his meeting with Trump. Remember, this was the meeting. Oh my God, the gold just in this tiny little picture. I fucking hate you. He proves every day, in every way, what he is, that what I say about him is right. He's the Antichrist. He thinks he's fucking God. He wants you to worship him. He's covered every inch of all this shit with gold. It's ridiculous. Just this one picture is ridiculous, let alone the whole room. I mean, there's barely an inch of white wall left. This is the fireplace you're looking at. All those gold trim and ornaments. It's ridiculous. This is such a small window into the room, too. This picture. And even just that. My God. You can't even see it all because of the filter, bitch. So the Iraqi leader was just there. I guess they hatched that little plan. And I guess Donnie said, will you invade Iran for me later? That's why Donnie said later that day. We have someone else that was willing to go in with ground troops. He was talking about this guy. I don't know if this guy will really do it, though. He might have just told Donnie, yeah, I'll do it, to get what he wants. Obviously, him and Donnie made a plan. Can you be my intermediary for the planned invasion peace deal offering I do every day? The other intermediaries aren't taken seriously anymore. Can you? They tried it. Iran said, fuck off. We can't trust you. I don't see any incentive for Iran to make a deal at any point. They should just dictate terms from this point forward. What do they have to lose? They sure as fuck can't trust Donnie. And here's Donnie making it worse again. Offers him a peace deal in between bombing runs, and then he posts this. President Trump says any and all damages done to ships, cargo, or anything related will be paid by the Iranian funds that the U.S. has in its possession from this point forth. I'm sure Iran was real thrilled to hear that. They've been operating without that money for decades. They don't give a fuck if you keep that money. They're still going to do just what they plan to do. And here's the post. Please let this statement serve to represent until further notice that from this point forth, any and all damages done to ships, cargo, anything related thereto will be paid for by Iranian money that the U.S. has in its possession and controls. These damages may be very substantial, but nevertheless, this is the fair and equitable thing to do. Thank you for your attention, President Pedophile Fuckface Asshole. Now we're going to take their sanctioned money, their frozen money, and start stealing it. I have a feeling he isn't going to fix the boats. He'll either pocket all the money or pocket some of it and give it to the rest of the boatmen. That's how I expect this to go. Everything's a grift with Donnie. Never, ever, ever forget that. I'm sure they'll be thrilled. This will make the situation no wonder they didn't accept the peace deal. When Donnie sweetens the pot like that, like I'm going to steal your money now on top of everything else. Donnie's like, you thought I just bombed girls' school? You thought I was a one-trick pony? No, I'm going to steal your money too. Oh, I'm sorry. It's going to go to boat damage. Sure it is, Donnie. Sure it is. This made my ears perk up. 8 countries issued joint statement and condemnation after Israeli Minister Ben-Gvir, he's one of the worst, led group to storm Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. Israel has no sovereignty over Jerusalem or its Islamic and Christian holy sites. That's a quote from someone, not the minister from Israel. Governmental minister, I believe. Ben-Gvir is one of the worst ones. He's probably worse than Bibi. Al-Aqsa Mosque. Do you know where that is? Do you know what that is? I looked it up again to make sure, but I know what it was, son, and I know why it was. They know what they're going to do in the future, and son, that's the near future. Not 10 years from now. They got to start getting people used to them going up on the Temple Mount and fucking with people. Because eventually they're going to have to tear that mosque down to build that temple. I assume they'll have to tear that down to do it. And that's why they're doing this. Led group to storm Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. That mosque is on the Temple Mount. That's where they want to put the Jewish temple. That's where the last two were, where God allegedly commanded them to build it. It got destroyed twice. There's a prophecy about another abomination of desolation happening in end times, like happened before. That has to happen at God's temple. Therefore, God's temple has to be up, doesn't it? Ben-Gvir just stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. That's taboo. Why'd he do that? Because they need to get people used to the Israelis going up on the mount and doing what they want. That's why. They got a temple to build, and they gonna goddamn build it. And Donnie gonna do his damage. And all fucking hell's gonna break loose. That's all this is. Setting the table for that later. The second I heard Al-Aqsa Mosque, I was like, oh, fuck. All roads lead to that temple, baby. And Israel needs to control that temple mount. I'm amazed they just ain't taking it. There's something holding them back. I don't know what it is. Because they got the momentum and they got the U.S. military behind them. I guess it just ain't ready for that part of the plan yet. Believe me, it's been planned a long time ago. They've been calling Donnie King Cyrus for 10 years, not 2. This has been planned a while. They see Donnie as their way to get that temple built. That's who Cyrus is to them. A savior of sorts. They see Donnie as a second coming of that. Bibi's people, Ben-Gvir, people like that. So at some point, they're going to do what they want on that Temple Mount. And they're going to put that temple up, and Donnie's going to do something. And then all fuck is going to break loose. Ben-Gvir setting the stage for that. Donnie again. They put a big, gorgeous new plant in a certain location, data center. Yeah, they're real gorgeous, Donnie. Put one next to the White House then, fuckface. Unfortunately, there are some who would like to lead us down the opposite path, and I call them the radical left communists. Now you're a communist if you're against a data center ruining your property values, stealing your water, your electricity, killing the environment, poisoning the environment around it, making a heat zone, stealing your water again, storing your information for the police state, for the slave state. That makes you a communist. You see how Adolf Hitler works? If you like decency, if you don't like evil and Satan, and giving all the money to the dear leader, be it Adolf, Kim Jong, Donnie, you're a communist. Same tactics Adolf used, same words, same playbook. So what's Donnie going to do? He going to round motherfuckers up later using that commie word and Antifa word. That's what he going to do. That's a promise, son. Put it on your goddamn calendar. They want to shut down all new developments. They want to shut down all new developments and surrender the AI race to China. We way out in front. We got 5,000 data centers. China does not, son. We're the heart of it. Are you fucking kidding me? Any new developments? You mean a grift and a slave empire for you? That's what you mean. God forbid anyone not like that, Donnie. Donnie, you're going to burn in fucking hell. I hope you know that. That's a promise. I'm not like other people saying, I want you to burn in hell. I'm saying, son, for certain, 100% guaranteed, you will burn for all eternity. Trump says he's giving data centers full immunity, that he's going to make the owners very rich, and that they just need to convince us how great they are. Because it's just marketing of slavery and the end of the earth. and the stealing of all the electricity and water. It's a marketing issue. That's the way greedy corporate cunts look at everything. They can just PR their way out of it. Like Flock trying to do reputational damage control right now with bots and interviews and dumbass shit. No, you're goddamn peeping toms, you're perverts and scumbags. You peep in little girls' windows. That's all you fucking do, son. That's your legacy forever, for all time. Even when you erase it from the internet, still your goddamn legacy. Mr. Taylor with his shit lettuce and him not letting Mexicans take a shit break. That's your legacy for all time, you fucking scumbag of the devil. Leon Scum cutting aid to little African children that are now dead in the millions. That's your fucking legacy, you piece of shit false prophet of the devil that will burn. And you're a douchebag. And you're a welfare queen. And you're a fake mama's boy who posts as his mother online. And his father. And his kid. Can you be any more goddamn pathetic? And then your destiny's the lake at the end of it all, son. My God. Leon, what are you doing? So again, it's a PR marketing thing. You know, the poisoning of a Tennessee city by Leon's data center. We just need to market better. That'll clear up all the cancer and all them black people down there from Leon's diesel generators and noise pollution and everything. It's a marketing issue. That's why it's over, son. Too many corporate cunts in t-shirts and jeans thinking like that. That's why it's goddamn over, and so's the show. I don't have any more. There's not room for humanity in data centers, and Donnie's talking it up like they're great and everybody loves them because it means money and control for him. We're already past the threshold of no return with the climate. Even if all industrial society stopped today, it would still take hundreds of years to recover. The last minute, when we had a chance to go the other way, the oligarchy, Zuckerberg, all of them, bribed the entire world. The Republican Party decides it's now time to start the police state New World Order, whatever the fuck. Nazism again, 2.0. The Democrats decide to go along because it's money for their districts and towns for governor. Money for governors, a talking point. Look at these jobs, these businesses, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, they're data centers that suck up all the fucking water and electricity. That's what the Democratic governor doesn't talk about. They're just as guilty. Then the Democrats stab us in the back at the end and vote for the surveillance state on top of it and surveillance of my goddamn car. So we've got no one looking out for us. But back to the climate. We get to the point where we could have gone another way. And Zuckerberg and the oligarchy and Satan decide it's time for the surveillance state, the police state, and to log every single piece of data on every human in a data center. Complexes that are miles long create literal heat zones. And we're not just talking about 5-foot heat zones here. Suck up all the water, pollute that water, pollute the environment around it, poison people, ruin property values, use up all the electricity, jack up your bill on that. The noise pollution, if I didn't mention that as well. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 fucking days a year. To the point some communities have to live with their windows closed at all times. And you know, if you go outside, well, it'll sound like an airport. On the runway. That is. We have drought in 65% of this country. And they are building complexes to enslave us that use millions of gallons of water and use as much electric as a city. when we're already over the threshold. Climate-wise. That alone, son, spells not only doom, utterly on nitrous accelerated doom. Maybe that's the point. I don't know. I don't know. They all seem to be running headlong to the abyss, so there's not enough room on the planet to log every piece of data and surveillance on every human. And for humans to have cities with water and electric as well. We have to pick one. Satan and the oligarchy chose the machines. And slavery. We have to choose us. Kind of too late. And again, in government, and it don't matter what country, Europe, Canada, here, we got nobody. Don't even waste your time listening to them. What good is any of their stands when they stand next to the owner of a data center at a what's that called? Groundbreaking ceremony? Dedication ceremony? What good's the city council when they switch from Flock to Axon? We got nobody. It's over. They've decided. And what they've decided will lead us to the end. I'm sorry. I didn't choose it. Don't take the mark. Have a wonderful evening. The mark will have shit on it. Donnie wears a diaper. Sometimes he puts his hand in there. Shit gets on it, and that'll get on the mark, and then it gets on you. That's fillet of fish shit, son. You don't want that. Don't take it. Trust me. Also, if you could be so kind as to hit the PayPal or Zelle using the email I provide at the top of the comments section and the link to the PayPal. Please do patronize it. Be about it. Help out. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. Don't take the fucking mark, son.